Hello everybody, I'm just going to go over the install of an amplifier and subwoofer in the 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I started here in the trunk, removing all the panels. You can see there all the interior trunk panels have been removed. There's the factory subwoofer. This is the plug for it. You can notice the different colored wires that actually go to the factory amplifier. And we are going to use those to connect to the amplifier directly with the RCA plug. See here, this is the wire splicing guide from Crutchfield. You have the rear side panel subwoofer voice coil 1 and 2. There's the wire colors for it. Just a heads up, the negative wire colors do not match what's actually in the vehicle. They're a different color, but using process of elimination, you can see the positive wires are the same color in the vehicle. So just grab, since they're twisted pairs, you can just grab the negative and just assume that that is the negative. So we're going to be using the Kicker KISL adapter. Since I'm not doing a processor, see here, we'll move the seat back. So here is the KISL from Kicker. Not really anything special, just some RCA cables that go to some really nicely terminated speaker wire. It's not very long at all. I did have to splice the speaker wire extension to make it back to our splice point from the output for the factory sub. And we saw that back there. These will plug directly back into the amp. As you can see on this Jeep, I've decided to mount the amplifier under the seat. This is Alpine's XA90M amplifier. It's just a mono subwoofer amp. It's got these really cool speaker terminals. So you'll take these off and terminate your subwoofer wires directly into it. You can plug that back in. Same thing with the power. There is an adapter. You terminate everything and plug it straight into the amp. So for this install, I've also decided to use this seat bolt. This is the front passenger seat bolt. On the right hand side, you'll remove this cap. There's a really nice bolt under there, and you could terminate your ground. And it's a really good grounding point. The power wire, I decided to go into the firewall. I'll pop the trunk hood in a minute to show you exactly where I decided to pass through. The remote wire for the amplifier. Well, in the back, you've got a plug for the rear cigarette lighter. If your Jeep comes with this rear cigarette lighter, you can use this as a remote turn on. This cigarette lighter does turn on and off with the vehicle. As you can see here, here's the splice I decided to use. This is a pink wire with a yellow stripe. That is the wire that goes to the cigarette lighter back there. It is 12 volts. So I've obviously spliced it to itself and put a remote wire in there. Remote wire runs down. Hopefully you can see that. Runs down the seat track, straight into the amp that's under the seat, into that adapter plate. So now the stock subwoofer is no longer in play. The splicing area for that, I decided to put it down here in the door sill for easy access later. The only panel you would have to remove to make modifications to this would be just this door sill panel instead of everything else, which also included the door trim rubber. So that's a total pain in the butt. Our splice area will be here. We'll get everything taped back up, and you won't even be able to tell that anything's in here. We'll tuck it all back under here. I'll show you what's under the hood. So under the hood, Here's our battery connector. So this obviously twists off. I forget what wrench size, but powered directly into there. This battery terminal cover obviously has great provisions for the subwoofer power wire. It just goes straight down here. Everything goes back on cleanly. Here's the fuse cover. The fuse box. I've obviously decided to mount it here. This is a really good spot for it. Nice and tight. Everything's clean. Really short wire. This whole thing is great because it really does have very short wiring. There wasn't much. Here to there, and then here through the firewall. You won't be able to see where I went in, but it is down there somewhere. Yeah, you can kind of see it. But right down there, there's plenty of choices. All of those are great choices for punching through the firewall and running your power. So here's a better view of where I've got that. I'll cut those screw heads off or something. No. So that's it. We'll put everything back together and it looks great. You can't see the amp, which is good because it has a bright light. But that's it. If anybody has any questions, post in the comments.